Well, some of the names escape me now. The housing projects over near right off of Benbow Road. There's a housing project area. We had classmates and friends who stayed there. Like McAdoo, who went on to become a great basketball player at UNC. His relatives stayed in that area. There were a couple of great supper clubs here. All the top artists, the kind of Chitlin circuit they call it, was from New York to Washington to rather around to Greensboro, Charlotte, on down to Atlanta. So Greensboro was always in the flow of social, cultural traffic. But I made my way across the whole of the city and the area. I mean, from Danville down to Charlotte to Greenville to Florida. We developed, and so some relationships are based on fraternity relationships. With Omega Psi Phi frat brother, playing football in these different places. We had overlapping relationships.
What was it like? I mean, I assume this was one of or some of the first times that you spoke in front of large crowds of people. Do you remember what it was like the first time you got up there and addressed a crowd?
I grew up with a kind of speech impediment, really, but learned to bark signals as a quarterback. So I learned how to, in that sense, talk in that way, and took some speech classes. I remember one day Dr. D. Berry at Winston-Salem State told Faulkner, one of my classmates, having a rally in the gym, that just go and speak to us. I mean, I wasn't prepared to do that, but except to explain what we were doing. So it really, speaking came from explaining what we were doing and learning why we were doing it. Because sometimes the what precedes the why. But you can act yourself into a way of thinking, as some suggest, whereas you can think yourself into a way of acting. Then we had professors like Dr. Leonard Robinson and Dr. Robinson and Dr. Addison, who was interpreting, Dr. Winbush, interpreting our struggle to us. They had a greater sense that they were professors, they were teachers. Informing us, this is Dr. Robinson, this is a people's movement. It cannot be stopped. It's time for these barriers to come down. Dr. Dowdell played a different role, Dr. Dowdell, as president of school, but by saying we can teach you what, but not how to think, not what to think. Because all of these persons, the PhDs notwithstanding, were stripped of public dignity. I mean, racial segregation on the superficial level was indecent. I mean, black soldiers to sit behind Nazi prisoners of war on American military bases, where Nazi POWs laughed at American military soldiers who were black. Did Dr. King give the speech in Washington from Texas across to Florida up to Maryland? We couldn't use a single public toilet. Our money was counterfeited. We couldn't buy ice cream at Howard Johnson. We couldn't rent a room hauled in. Our money was counterfeited. We were non-citizens in our own country. So in many ways, the movement in Greensboro, the sit-ins kind of broke the ice, but the bigger movement in '63 kind of took us to another level of activism. But we redefined America using the flag and the Bible as our two weapons. Not the brick and the stick, but the flag and the Bible.